Cheers, mate, no worries.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all please stand
Ở đây đi. Đây
as the catapult party takes place.
Đây ở giữa đi. Đang sát xuống đây em Việt Nam như đất của em
To you, the President of the Vietnam Veterans Association, Mr. Richard Williams.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, veterans, and welcome to the 2017 Vietnam Veterans Day Memorial Service, the 51st anniversary of the Battle of Long Tân, South Vietnam, 18th of August 1966. I welcome Her Excellency Kerry Sanderson, AC, Governor of Western Australia, the Honourable Peter Tinley, AM, MLA, Minister for Veterans in Western Australia, representing the Premier, the Honourable Sean Lestrange, MLA, Member for Churchlands, representing the Leader of the Opposition, Captain Brian Delamont, Commanding Officer, HMAS Stirling, Royal Australian Navy, Brigadier David Thompson, Commanding Officer, 13 Brigade, Royal Australian Army, Wing Commander Graham Williams, Base Commander, Pearce Air Force Base, Royal Australian Air Force, Mr. Miguel Penix, Deputy Consular Chief, United States Consul, Western Australia, Mr. Chris Ellison, New Zealand Honorary Consul, Western Australia, Mr. Peter Aspinall, State President, Returned and Services League, Western Australia, and Mrs. Aspinall, Mr. Peter King, Deputy Commissioner, Department of Veteran Affairs, Western Australia, and Mr. Cole Bennett, Mr. James Ford, President, Perth Legacy, Mr. Tan Van Nguyen, President, Republic of Vietnam Veterans, Western Australia, and Mrs. Van Nguyen, all other ex-service organisations, presidents, representatives and invited guests. I also acknowledge Commander William Dole, United States Navy, Operations Support, HMAS Stirling. Today's service is dedicated to the 50th anniversary of the deployment to South Vietnam of the Royal Australian Navy Helicopter Flight Vietnam, EMU flight, and to the 7th Battalion Royal Australian Regiment, the Battle of Soi Chow Pa in Phước Tuy Province on the 6th of August 1967. I acknowledge and give special welcome to the former members, veterans of these units and the family members attending this service. EMU flights deployment in South Vietnam lasted from 1967 until 1971, attached to the 135th Assault Helicopter Company of the United States Navy, hence the EMU Flight Experimental Military Unit. During their deployment, the RAN EMU flight lost a number of pilots, air crew and support members killed in action, including Petty Officer O'Brien Phillips from Bassendean, Western Australia. Petty Officer Phillips' helicopter, piloted by Tony Casadillo, was shot down on the 21st of August 1968. The Battle of Soi Chow Pa. Members of A Company 7 RAR, 2 platoon ambushed and killed 2 Viet Cong. During a sweep of the area, a further enemy soldier was killed by 5 section. The platoon then came under heavy fire, with other platoons moving in to support 2 platoon and with the forward observer calling an accurate and sustained artillery fire. After some 3 hours of fierce battle, the enemy, 274 VC Regiment's 3rd Battalion, broke contact and withdrew to the north. Battle casualties suffered by A Company 7 RA included 5 killed in action, 21 wounded, 1 later dying of his wounds. The enemy casualties were much more severe, caused in main by the artillery fire. I would like to conclude with a short verse. Not everyone who lost his life in Vietnam died there. Not everyone who came home from Vietnam ever left there. Lest we forget. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. I'd like to now call on Mr. Alan West, veteran of Charlie Company, the 7th Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment of the Battle of Soi Chow Pa, 6th of August 1967.
Good day to everybody that's here, and thanks for coming along to help celebrate Vietnam Veterans Day. I've just been asked to give a short note on the Battle of Soi Chow Pa, 6th of August 1967. It was A Company clashed with a Vietnamese regular army, D445, which were very well prepared. It lasted for about 7 hours. The total casualties deaths for Australia were 7 and 20 wounded, which is a fair whack out of the company. After the battle, they named it a battle rather than a contact because of the significance of the size of it, and it was in the area of Hac Dach province, or the river of Soi Chow Pa. And from now on, the 7th Battalion take every year at 6th of August to remember those that were fallen and the others from the battalion. I would like to say that the 7th Battalion did a great job, and may they rest in peace. God be with them. Thank you very much.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a wonderful day today. I hope my boss has kept the weather this way, but I can't guarantee it's not going to stay that way. So as we enter into this time of reflection today, may we just start opening with a bow in prayer. Lord, today we gather in worship to remember those who served in Vietnam and died for our country, in His service and in the service of others. We pray, O Lord, for all veterans and their families who continue to suffer from the things that went on at war. May they be comforted by You, and may they be able to have the support they need. We pray in Jesus' mighty name. Amen and amen.
Would you all please stand for the national anthem?
Council party attention. Council party technically present on.
Of the North American Veterans Unit in Western Australia.
The comforting words of the 23rd Psalm assure us that when we place our lives in the hands of God, that when we pass away, we will live in the house of the Lord forever. The 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Mr. Tan Van Nguyen from the Republic of the Vietnamese Veterans Association of Western Australia will say the prayer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the prayer will be uttered in Bible language, Australian and Vietnam. Chúng ta cầu nguyện cho các chiến binh Úc Việt, những người đã hy sinh thân mình cho lý tưởng tự do và dân chủ của Việt Nam. Sự ra đi của họ sẽ không bao giờ bị quên lãng. Nguyện xin linh hồn của họ được nghỉ ngơi nơi chốn yên bình. We pray for the Vietnamese and Australian soldiers who have sacrificed greatly for democracy and freedom for Vietnam. They have been lost but never forgotten. May their soul rest in peace. Lord, hear us.
Lord, hear our prayer.
Chúng ta cầu nguyện cho đất nước Úc Đại Lợi luôn được an bình và hài hòa, tiếp tục nêu cao biểu tượng công bằng, bác ái và tự do. We pray for Australia that there will always be peace and harmony in this country, and that it will continue to be a symbol of equality, philanthropy and freedom. Lord, hear us. Chúng ta cầu cho những thân nhân và bạn bè của người lính, nguyện xin cho họ luôn được mạnh mẽ để hỗ trợ cho các cựu chiến binh đang bị bệnh về tâm thần lẫn thể xác. We pray for all the families and friends of our soldiers that they will always have the strength to support our veterans mentally and physically. Lord, hear us. Chúng ta cầu nguyện cho các nhà lãnh đạo luôn dựa theo tinh thần nhân đạo và sự an bình của thế giới, mà có những quyết định đúng đắn cho mọi người. We pray for all the world leaders that they will always make the right decision for the people, always with humanity and world peace in mind. Lord, hear us.
As we remember those people who lost their lives, let us pray together.